Take a deep breath. Tune into the beating of your heart and awaken to a fresh perspective. Welcome to See More with More C, your go-to podcast for a fresh perspective on your spiritual and entrepreneurial journey. Now, we as empathic entrepreneurs are keenly aware of the emotions of those around us. We're great listeners. We're compassionate, highly intuitive, and we prioritize ethical considerations in our decision making. But what comes with this heightened sensitivity can often be emotional overload. And it's important that we learn how to work with this flow of emotions that we're feeling throughout the day, whether we're aware of it or we're not aware of it. And this means prioritizing self-care. This means becoming more aware of how we receive energy and put out energy and how we work with this. On my journey, spiritually awakening and working as an entrepreneur, I found myself asking questions like, how can I make sure that my sensitivities don't stop me from flowing in my business, from continuously being consistent? How can I make sure I see this empathic aspect of me as a strength? How can I make sure my emotions don't wear me out? What are some of the things that I can do in order to bring harmony to all aspects of myself and my purpose, what I'm set out to do in this world? So the first self-care tip for empathic entrepreneurs is meditate in nature. Meditate in nature. Often we are absorbing so much energy. We don't know where it's from or who it's from, whether it's from a person or a situation or a thought that comes in our mind. We're feeling it. We're more in tune with those aspects that we can't really get a grasp on. You can't really see it. So when you step out into nature, it brings a relaxation and a peace. Nature, it has nothing to prove. It doesn't have an identity to protect. When you see a squirrel, it's running and playing around or trying to find food. It's not concerned with what you think of it. You can think of any animal in nature. It's not concerned of what we humans think of them. And it's often within the entrepreneurial space that there is an aspect of competition, right? There's an aspect of needing to prove something, needing to prove that your business is worth it for someone else. And often that tug of war between staying grounded in your spiritual values and letting go and surrendering, but also putting in that effort, it can feel conflicting. I found that stepping into nature allows us to relax and tune in to our inner self. Meditating in nature allows us to tap into source, tap into universal intelligence. It is so important as an empath to have a meditation practice, to reconnect with your truest self, with pure awareness. And so this allows those hard boundaries of ego, those hard boundaries of who we think we are, to dissolve. And it makes making decisions better, right? It makes it easier instead of getting so caught up in our mind and being conflicted by all the energy we absorb, right? When you simply take a walk through nature, you are very naturally allowing emotions to flow in and out, just being by trees, taking your shoes off, feeling the ground beneath the soles of your feet, getting connected to earth. This is harmonizing all aspects of you. And this is why when you leave nature, you feel so much lighter. It feels like a therapy session, right? I make sure that I prioritize going out into nature and meditating. My go-to meditation is observation and non-reactivity, just allowing thoughts to come and go, emotions to come and go. So with this self-care tip, I encourage you to prioritize meditation in nature, being one with this aspect of earth that is in tune with the natural flow of life, right? There's nothing getting in its way of universal intelligence. And so when we're out there, that becomes a part of us. Number 2, take naps. Make sure you are taking naps. When we're out and we're working, right? Once again, we are highly sensitive to emotions and situations, and it can be draining. And it's so important that when you feel that you just need a rest for a bit, do it. 15 minutes, 20, 30, whatever you have, close your eyes and take a nap. Get some rest. You deserve it. You deserve it. Your body will tell you. You don't need to push through if you're feeling tired, right? You can take a break. Because pushing through, you're not as aware, you're not as alert, and it doesn't allow you to focus. And it's not something that is sustainable. You can't last with that habit for a long time. So when you need to, make sure that you're taking a nap. You're recharging your energy, right? And allowing yourself to be more present with your work, be more present with your clients or in meetings or whoever it is you may need to engage with or whatever it is you may need to engage with. A power nap for me has made incredible changes in the way I've worked. I'm writing often and I'm speaking to others often and coaching often. And when I take a break and I take a nap, it's like a whole new day. You'll be so surprised at how you're not dragging your body, but you're more in tune with life's natural flow, simply because you decided to recharge your energy. So instead of seeing a nap as this getting in the way, look at it as recharging your energy, plugging in, right? It's the same thing when we choose meditation. We're plugging into something and allowing ourselves to come back to a place of harmony. Number 3, get comfortable with saying no. Get comfortable with saying no. I know how it is as an empathic individual to feel like saying no is some cuss word or something. Like saying no is the worst thing you could say because you would feel bad about what someone else would think. Because you may feel their sadness and not know what to do with those emotions. But it's important to have this self-care practice of looking out for yourself first. As an entrepreneur and a conscious leader, it is important that you prioritize your personal and professional boundaries so that you're allowing yourself to have more time, more energy on what actually matters. If someone DMs you or emails you and asks you to join something that you're not truly feeling, you're not tuned into that, it doesn't align with what you do, don't be afraid to give a nice no thanks. You might get a couple offers. You might get a lot of people asking you to join them in something. It's okay if you don't align with it and you don't say no. Look at this instead of breaking someone's heart or being afraid that someone doesn't like you. Look at it as being an honest individual, being truthful and being yourself. Why would you want to lie? Why would you want to pretend just to make someone happy? Be honest. That honesty is compassion. It's kindness towards yourself and towards the other person. We know as entrepreneurs, reality hurts sometimes. The truth hurts sometimes. How many times do we get rejected in this journey? This journey has taught me how to handle rejection. So because I have learned how to handle that rejection, I've learned, you know what? Well, it's okay for me to say no too. And it feels so empowering. It makes you feel like yourself, like you. And once again, it gives you the opportunity to truly keep in mind your time, your energy, your resources, so you can ensure that your business is moving in the direction you would like it to go. Our energy is everything. It's everything. Number 4. The fourth self-care tip for empathic entrepreneurs is naming and acknowledging your emotions. This is powerful, incredibly powerful. It's very common for us to feel intense emotions, strong emotions, because these emotions are our emotions. These emotions are often other people's emotions. Other people's emotions that we're aware of and we're not aware of. And it's so important that we learn how to tune in and be aware and in recognition of what we're feeling. These emotions they're not a block, right? It's common for others who may not be in tune with their emotions to see emotions as this interference. But you, as someone who's empathic, you are aware that your emotions are intuitive guidance. You know they're not blocks. They're only blocks when you don't know how to work with them. You don't know how to be in harmony and in tune with them. And it happens, right? Happens to me. It's all a part of the process. But when you learn to accept them as they are, seeing them as intuitive guidance, you're more accepting of them. You honor them and you listen to them and you stop for a second to acknowledge their presence. Rather than suppressing the emotion, you acknowledge it. You choose to be present with these strong emotions. So ensure that you are regularly naming them, acknowledging them, allowing them to flow, right? There's 2 things you could do: name and acknowledge, and just allow them to flow. When I already know what emotion is coming up, when I already know my own emotional trigger, I just allow it to flow. I was like, I know that emotion. What's up? And you allow it to flow because I know exactly what event caused that trigger, and I keep it moving, keep it flowing. I keep it popping. And you say, thank you. Thank your emotions. They're powerful. You're tuning in, and this feeds your intuition. It feeds that intuitive guidance that allows you to create and build something that is truly meaningful to you. That is truly something that truly matters to you. Your creativity, it flows as well. Honor your emotions as you're meditating in nature. Honor your emotions when your body's telling you it's time to take a nap. Honor your emotions when someone asks you something to do something and it doesn't align with what you wanted to do. It's okay to say no. Your emotions literally told you instantly, nah, that's not for me. I can't prioritize that right now. I've got other things to do, right? Honor those emotions. And number 5, last but not least, schedule social media breaks. Please. I know I recognize There's a lot on the internet about, taking social media breaks and, sabbaticals from social media. I've done it too. And what I'm saying and sharing with you is that being more conscious with the way you use social media is a game changer. Personally, I love and I enjoy social media. It has helped me learn so much about myself. It has helped me build my own business. It's helped me meet amazing people that I would have never met. But I recognize that being constantly engaged in so much information, it's draining. And then you find yourself thinking about things that don't even matter, people's lives, that it doesn't matter to what you're doing right now. It can pull you out of what real life is. You can forget what contentment actually feels like. You forget why you do what you do and what your values are, because there's so many different factors that go into social media, like likes and follows and engagement, and it starts to pull you away from what actually matters to you. And you lose that grounding in real life. So in order to find this flow and balance, right, with being this empathic entrepreneur who's using social media, and likely you're using it to grow your business, schedule social media breaks, or throughout the day when you wake up, you say, you know what, after I finish posting on my page, after I finish working with this client, after I finish this meeting, I'm going to put my phone away for a couple hours, right? I'm going to go into nature, or I'm just going to tidy up around the house. I'm going to clear my mind and ground myself back into reality, recognizing what contentment feels like, what true fulfillment feels like. It feels so nice just to step away for a bit, all right? We don't have to make social media the enemy. It's not the enemy. I don't think it's the enemy. How we do one thing is how we do everything. And so if you find yourself over-consuming social media, you're probably over-consuming somewhere else in your life. And this is something that I have learned for myself. It's helped me understand myself more. So I'm responding to these situations rather than reacting to them. So I found to be more aware of where I'm over-consuming in my life and how to just say no, because I recognize it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to constantly open your phone and feel this negative emotion, to feel this draining emotion. And then when you close your phone, you're drained. And then whatever task you were intending to do, you can't do it at your fullest. You can't focus and concentrate. You can't be present with what you intended to do. So have every day a couple hours away from your phone. If you need a sabbatical, if you need a break, take it. I encourage you. I've done it before and it feels great. You come back brand new. So those were the 5 self-care tips for empathic entrepreneurs, all right? Meditate in nature. Take naps. Get comfortable saying no. Name and acknowledge your emotions. And schedule social media breaks. All of these will allow you to be that compassionate leader, that conscious leader that has a sustainable business, one that not only cares about profit, hey, we got to live too, but we see those that we're working with as people. We're not seeing others as a means to an end, but we're deeply in tune with this process. I encourage you to subscribe to my newsletter, The Enlightened Entrepreneur, where I share more about this, where I share more about work-life harmony. I share more about being that conscious leader and being resilient throughout this process, right? Because we have such heavy emotions that often it can make the process seem a little bit more tough than what it actually is. I created this newsletter with that in mind, keeping in mind that there's so many different types of people who are building a business, and we may not fit into the usual or conventional advice that's out there. I found that there was a gap within having a spiritual approach to our journey as an entrepreneur and honoring our awakening and what it means to flow with the natural rhythms of life. So we're working with life, knowing when to flow, knowing when to surrender, and then knowing when to put in a little bit more control, you know? So if that's what you're looking for within your journey, then I encourage you to subscribe to The Enlightened Entrepreneur. Thank you for being in the space for me where we see more. See more with more see. We see more than what the eyes can see. We're feeling it. Even beyond that, we're in tuned. We're beyond the mind. As always, breathe on purpose. Lead with your heart and give thanks to a fresh perspective.